What happens when a routine workday takes an unexpected turn? For one waitress, a simple note and a generous gesture left her speechless and sparked a conversation across the nation. Before we dive deeper into this heartwarming story, comment below where you're watching from today. And if you value stories about resilience and standing up for what's right, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more heartfelt narratives. It was an ordinary afternoon at the Corner Cafe, a cozy spot tucked away in a quiet part of downtown New York. The hum of conversation mixed with the faint notes of jazz drifting from the speakers. The smell of freshly brewed coffee and warm pastries filled the air, creating a momentary escape from the bustling streets outside. Dina, a waitress in her mid-20s, was nearing the end of her shift. Her feet ached, her hair was pulled into a messy ponytail, and the tips so far had been underwhelming, barely enough to cover her bus fare, let alone the rent due in 2 days. Each passing hour felt longer than the last, and the weight of her responsibilities pressed down like an invisible anchor. She wiped down the last table near the window and glanced at her phone. 1 more hour. She could push through. Just as she tucked the phone back into her apron, the soft chime above the cafe door rang. Dina looked up, expecting another regular. But the sight that greeted her was anything but ordinary. A tall young man, dressed in a simple white shirt and dark slacks, stepped inside. His features were striking, sharp jawline, composed demeanor, but there was an air of familiarity about him. 2 men followed closely behind, blending almost seamlessly into the background, their eyes scanning the room with practiced precision. For a moment, Dina froze. Then it clicked. Barron Trump. The former president's son, taller, more mature than the photos she'd seen online, walked toward the corner table by the window. Dina's heart skipped, but professionalism kicked in. This was just another customer. Famous or not, he deserved the same polite service she gave everyone. Dina approached the table, pen poised over her order pad. "Good afternoon," she said, mustering her best smile despite her exhaustion. "Can I get you something to start?" Barron looked up, his expression calm but kind. "Just a cappuccino and one of those croissants, please. That'll be perfect." His tone was polite, not entitled, not dismissive, just sincere. Dina scribbled down the order and turned toward the counter, trying to shake the odd flutter in her chest. It wasn't nerves, not entirely. It was something else. The feeling that this ordinary moment held more weight than it should. As she prepared the cappuccino, she glanced back at the corner table. Barron sat quietly, posture relaxed, but not slouched. He wasn't scrolling through his phone like most customers. Instead, he gazed out the window, lost in thought, sipping occasionally from the water glass she'd dropped off earlier. By the time the order was ready, Dina had steadied herself. Balancing the tray carefully, she approached the table. "Here you go," she said, placing the cappuccino and pastry in front of him. Barron looked up and smiled faintly. "Thank you." "You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything else." That should have been the end of it. Just another transaction in a long day. But as Dina turned to walk away, she couldn't shake the feeling of his gaze following her. Curious, not invasive. She glanced back once, catching him mid-thought, his fingers tapping absently against the table's edge. Minutes turned into an hour. The cafe emptied out, save for a few lingering patrons. Dina busied herself with wiping down counters and refilling sugar containers, the soft hum of background music filling the space. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw Barron pull a pen from his pocket. He leaned over the receipt, scribbling something quickly, almost as if he didn't want anyone to notice, then folded the paper neatly and tucked it beneath the empty cappuccino cup. He stood, gathering his phone and coat. As he passed the counter, he offered a slight smile. "Thank you for the coffee. Have a good day." "You too," Dina replied automatically, watching as he exited. the bell above the door chiming softly behind him. The room fell silent once more. She let out a slow breath, wiped her hands on her apron, and walked toward the table to clear it. The cappuccino cup sat empty, a thin ring of foam clinging to the rim. The croissant plate held nothing but crumbs. And there, beneath the cup, was the folded receipt. Dina picked it up, expecting nothing more than the standard tip, a few dollars if she was lucky. But as she unfolded the paper, her breath caught in her throat. At the bottom, beneath the total, was a number, a tip so large it made her knees weak. 4 crisp digits, enough to cover rent, her phone bill, and groceries for the month. But it wasn't the money that made her eyes blur with tears. It was the note scribbled above the tip. Your kindness and hard work don't go unnoticed. My family has been where you are. Stay strong. Brighter days are coming. Dina's hands trembled. She read the words again, slower this time, letting each one sink in. Her eyes darted to the door, but Barron was long gone, the moment already slipping into memory. Her manager approached, brows furrowed. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Dina held up the receipt, voice cracking. Look! The manager's eyes widened. No way. From him? Dina nodded, pressing the note to her chest. It's not just the money, she whispered. It's everything. Someone actually saw me. By the time Dina's shift ended, the note was tucked safely into her wallet, a treasure more valuable than the tip itself. But the story didn't end there. The next morning, her phone buzzed incessantly. Confused, she squinted at the screen. Dozens of messages, notifications, and links flooded her inbox. Is this you? Girl, you're famous. One message contained a screenshot of a news headline. Barron Trump leaves touching note and huge tip for hard-working waitress. Internet reacts. Somehow, someone had snapped a photo of the receipt, the note and the tip in clear view, and posted it online. It spread like wildfire. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Everyone was talking about it. Comments poured in, "This is what the world needs more of." No matter what you think of his family, this is pure kindness. Wait, what about the waitress? Is she okay? I hope she's okay. Starred Dina's heart pounded. How had such a private moment become public? She wasn't prepared for this. The attention, the scrutiny. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about kindness. How a simple gesture could ripple far beyond its original intent. Later that day, as she walked home, the folded note still in her pocket, Dina realized something profound. The money would help, sure. But the real gift was the reminder that she mattered, that even in her quiet struggles someone had noticed. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might need a reminder that kindness still exists. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more stories that inspire and connect us all.